Hi guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Battle with Ola once again. This is Mojola Olua and I'm super thrilled to be here once again. Today we want to talk about assault and battery. It's one of the commonest crimes, misdemeanors in Nigeria and the world over, and it's time to talk about it on the channel. But before we do that, I want to appreciate you for the warm reception that my book has received from you all so far. Thank you very much. I just published my book, a condensation or a condensed version of my experience in the last 3 years as a mediator at a public facility. I'm hoping that you'll buy the book, you'll read it, and you would really enjoy it and give me feedback. So if you have not bought it now, that's the link on the screen and it's also in the description box. Just click it and get a copy. It's 3,000 Nigerian naira or its equivalent. There are equivalents on the website, in your own currency. And so I hope that you buy the book and that you enjoy it. If you're interested in mediation and you'd love to read the book, but you cannot afford it for now, the law firm of Ebert and Abraham, they have paid for 5 copies of the book and they want me to give it to any 5 lawyers or law students of my choice. So if you're a lawyer or a law student and you cannot afford the book, you should go to the community page on this channel and see how you can qualify to get a copy. It's an ebook, so it will be sent to your email, but there's something you need to do for me and the law firm of Albert and Abraham. Just one tweet telling us what mediation means to you. So just go to the community page or community segment of this channel and see what you have to do, and you will get a copy of the book. So if you have not been looking at our community page or community segment of the channel, you are really missing out. And you should totally go and check it out. Check it out from time to time, because that's where we have conversations that we cannot have on videos, on the channel. Like yesterday we were talking, today now we're talking, between yesterday and today we're talking about what next people want to see on the channel. And you just might be surprised that whatever you ask for will be granted. So make sure you always check the community page from time to time. Like the letters or the alphabets A and B follow each other, assault and battery usually follows each other in Nigeria and the world over generally. They do not necessarily have to follow each other, but in most cases, that's what happens. Assault, A, battery, B. So usually there's assault and then followed by battery. But in some instances, there may be battery without assault. So we're going to get into it. Assault is putting someone in apprehension of harm or injury or force, to their person. So for instance, if I do like this, that's assault. But when I do that and it actually hits you, that's battery. So assault and battery. So I put you in apprehension of harm. When I bring my hand against you, you will probably blink or you will shake or move because you don't know what part of your body I'm about to hit. But when I finally hit it, that's battery. So assault is, battery is actually eating. So that's how to basically or simply understand assault and battery. Assault is causing someone or putting them in a reasonable apprehension now of infliction of injury or harm to their person. But battery is the actual direct infliction of the harm or application of force to their person. Now I say that assault, battery may not follow assault. It could be battery itself on its own, because for instance, if you're going and someone strikes you from behind, you are probably not in apprehension of harm, but harm has been done to you. Force has been applied to you. So that's battery. Usually, not in all cases, but usually we are able to receive or comprehend assault with our eyes because we see it coming towards us. So if someone hits you from behind, for instance, that might be battery without assault. But and we can also have assault without battery. That is, someone threatens harm, but they do not actually go through with the threats. So they've put you in apprehension of harm. If someone says that they are going to if someone, for instance, is driving, maybe you are standing on the road and someone is driving towards you and they intentionally drive towards you, if someone says now that I will hit you off the road now and they're coming against you with their car at such speed, you have to jump for your life, that might be assault without the battery because the car did not actually get to you. So that's assault without battery. If someone throws something at you, that's assault. When that thing eats you, maybe a stone, that's battery. But if the stone does not eat you, it may not be battery, it may just be assault, because you are in fear that a stone is coming to eat you, but it did not eventually eat you. So that's assault. That's how to easily understand assault and battery. It's a crime. You find it codified in the criminal code, and I'm going to read it out to you just now. I'm going to read section 252 of the Nigerian Criminal Code to you just now, and it could also be codified, in criminal laws of different states. Now, this is the Nigerian Criminal Code. A person who strikes, touches or moves, or otherwise applies force of any kind to the person of another, either directly or indirectly without his consent or with his consent, if the consent is obtained by fraud or by any bodily act or gesture, attempts or threatens to apply force of any kind to the person of another without his consent, in such circumstances that the person making the attempt or threat has actually or apparently a present ability to effect his purpose, is said to assault the other person, and the act is called an assault. So that is how to understand assault according to the Nigerian Criminal Code. Someone is trying to apply force. It is actually in their power to do what they are threatening to do, and they put the receiver of their act in apprehension of that harm coming to them without their consent. So those are the key things to look for. Now, if, for instance, you and someone, you're having, a squabble, for instance, or a disagreement, and the person slaps you, the person has the ability to slap you. They slapped you. Or maybe the person said, I will slap you now, and you coward, you withdrew, maybe you even ran away. Now, that person has the ability to slap you. They threatened to do it. You were in reasonable apprehension of fear that they would actually carry out their threats. Hence, you ran away or you cowered, and you did not give your consent to it. These things are important because, for instance, in the combative sports of wrestling now, you cannot claim assault because you have consented. And everyone knows this is sports. You voluntarily and willingly said, let's fight together, maybe to win money or to win a belt or something. Wrestling, boxing, all those things. So you cannot come and claim assault in those instances. The things to look out for is consent, on the victim's part, and reasonable fear or apprehension on the victim's part, and the ability to cause the harm threatened on the perpetrator's part. So that's how to understand assault. And then battery is when the victim actually receives the act that was threatened, or it could be that the victim, direct force or harm is applied to the victim without any threat, maybe they were taken, by surprise. So that is assault, and that's battery. Punishment for assault can be found in section 351 of the Criminal Code. You find it in 3552. 351 says that where there's an assault, it's a misdemeanor and it's punishable for 1 year. But 355 says that when the assault actually occasions harm, for instance, you have slapped someone now and their cheek has swollen up, or maybe you have boxed, or you have pummeled someone now, without their consent, and they've dislocated, a bone or something of the sort. Harm has been occasioned. That is a felony, and it's punishable by 3 years. Let me read 355 to you. It says that any person who unlawfully assaults another and thereby does him harm is guilty of a felony and is liable to imprisonment for 3 years. So that's punishment for assault. So it's important not to assault or batter people. So don't go about doing it. It's very common when you go to school. These things happen in the marketplaces, on the streets, on the roads, highways, in our day-to-day human interactions. These things come even in the home, amongst tenants, siblings, even couples. These things happen. But it's important to prevent it. It's important to prevent it. And this is good so that you understand that even if you don't carry out the threat, once you make that threat, so many people say carelessly, I will slap you now if I wound you there, all those things. If the person you have said it to is in apprehension that you can actually carry out your threat, and it can be established that you actually have the ability to do that, maybe you even have a track record of doing it, you've already committed assault, and you can be prosecuted and punished accordingly. So that's assault and battery. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like the videos, leave comments in the comment section, and you know what to do now in cases of assault and battery. It's a crime. That means that you need to report to the police. They need to open investigation and then charge to the appropriate court, and it will be prosecuted. The nominal complainant will be a witness, and some other maybe eyewitnesses can also testify in court, to that, and a person can, be sent to jail for a minimum of at least 1 year. So if you followed section 252 when I read it, what you'd notice is that the Nigerian law in that part is treating assault and battery as one and the same. So that means that for assault and battery, because it says when you touch, it already takes care of the contact, because assault is no contact, battery requires contact. But 252 already, contemplates assault and battery together. So the punishment according to 25, if you just look from 251, 252 already contemplates assault and battery, and 351 then says that the punishment for assault, which would also apply to battery in this case, is 1 year if no greater punishment is prescribed. 355 then says that where the assault occasions harm, it is 3 years and it is a felony. So depending on the circumstances of each case when investigated, it could be 1 to 3 years for assault and battery. So it's a serious matter and should be treated as such. That's all I want to talk to you about in this video. I will see you in my very next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Toodles.